G'day, and welcome to the Mid-Life Introvert. This is a bit of a special video for a couple of reasons. To start off with, this is the first time I've narrated one of my videos. And secondly, because at the time of recording, today's my 11th wedding anniversary. We'll start our adventure with a quick pause outside Sticky Fingers candy store in Mundaring, before making our way down to the Mundaring Weir Dam for a bit of a wander. We've arrived at the car park at the dam. Even though not much has changed since I was here several years ago, the sheer scale of this place still amazes me. Growing up not far from the hills, the Mundaring Weir was always one of those places you come out to deliberately. It's not really somewhere you just pass through. You make the effort to come down here. So, before continuing the drive out to York for the night, it felt like a good place to stop and take a bit of time. Not long after we arrived, a small family of ducks kept popping up as we wandered around. My wife tried to coax them out with a few treats, but I think for the most part, they were feeling a bit shy that day. I'm standing at the public walkway entrance at the top of the dam. Off to my left, there's a line of these big red pipes and valves, and on one of them someone's drawn a pair of eyes, just enough to turn it into a strange little face. I don't know who did it, but it definitely appeals to my sense of humour, and it's not hard to notice once you've seen it. Let's head down the path and have a bit of a sticky beak. Looking down toward the lower left section of the dam, you can see the overflow area, where the water would spill if it ever reached that point. Just beyond that is the old pumping station number 1, with its tall smokestack still standing. There's a museum down there as well, but we didn't have time to check it out today. Walking further along the wall, there's a small tower-like structure positioned roughly in the middle of the dam. It's part of the monitoring system built into the wall, used to access and check the internal condition of the dam over time. Anyway, we still need to make our way to York, so we better make tracks. After a short stop at the lakes, we received a message from our host at Betty's Mountain Cottage, where we'd be staying for the night. The message said, "Welcome to our little wonderland. We're absolutely delighted to have you as our guest. Inside you'll find a few thoughtful treasures waiting for you. Tasty snacks, cozy toiletries, and a selection of teas and coffees ready to enjoy. You're more than welcome to curl up with any of the books scattered around. They love good company. Wishing you a truly magical and relaxing time in our corner of calm and charm." At first, the house itself felt
pretty unassuming. But once I noticed the well-dressed fox in the portrait and the music playing inside, I knew this place needed a closer look.
I started out at the white picket fence, where I was greeted by a small sign reading, "Welcome to Betty's Mountain Cottage." Walking up the white gravel driveway, it all felt fairly ordinary at first. The kind of place you might pass without thinking too much about it. Then little details started to interrupt that feeling. A statue near the entrance. A pair of bright pink chairs. Small choices that felt intentional rather than accidental.
Inside, I could hear music playing, and it immediately changed the mood. It wasn't loud, but it was deliberate, like it was meant to be noticed. That led me to the main bedroom on the left, and that's where the place
Really started to reveal itself. The room doesn't feel modern or minimal or practical. It feels theatrical, like it belongs to a story rather than a house. The colours are deep, the light is soft, and everything feels arranged to slow you down rather than to impress you. There's an Alice in Wonderland style scene playing quietly on the television. A tea party set up, but with no guest. The table's ready, but no one's arrived. Giant mushrooms shift slightly in the background, just enough to make you notice, but not enough to demand attention. What struck me most wasn't any single object, but the overall feeling of the room. It feels enclosed but not cramped, decorative but not cluttered, like someone has committed to a very specific idea and trusted enough to follow it all the way through. Standing there, I realised this wasn't a place designed to be rushed through. It feels more like a space you're meant to sit in quietly for a while, noticing things slowly and probably missing a few things on the first pass. Walking down the hallway, the first thing I notice is the colour. Dark blue walls with white trim below. As I step into the lounge room, that contrast continues. The deep red lounge chairs stand out straight away. But they feel old-fashioned and solid, like they belong here. The kitchen starts to reveal the theme a bit more. The fridge has been wrapped, the same way a car gets wrapped, and it sets a very clear tone straight away. It's playful without being over the top. Around it, there's a collection of cups and saucers, all slightly different and clearly chosen with intention rather than just filled in. Moving further through, I end up in the laundry, which honestly grabbed my attention more than I expected. There's an image of 4 very formally dressed geese on the dishwasher, and the walls are covered in portraits of animals dressed in period clothing. Dogs, peacocks, tigers, cats, foxes, all framed like proper portraits. It's unexpected, and it works. Back through the living area, I take in more of the furniture and details before heading down the hallway again into the study. This room leads more directly into Alice in Wonderland. The door handle leading out to the veranda is a replica of the talking door from Disney's Alice in Wonderland, and down near the floor there's a tiny mouse-sized door, a clear reference to Alice after she shrinks. The shelves are filled with books and games, and on the desk there's a copy of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. Sitting nearby is a small white rabbit figure. Even the toilet keeps the theme going. There's a portrait of a cat's head that immediately reminded me of the girl with the pearl earring, just with a cat instead. We step into the second bedroom. This one feels softer and more decorative. Deep burgundy walls, lighter wallpaper opposite, and gold trim throughout. We then step into the final bedroom, and this one leans into a more old-fashioned Peter Rabbit-styled theme. The television is playing a gentle animation of rabbits out on a picnic, which sets a quiet, relaxed tone straight away. The room feels cozy and clearly designed with a younger guest in mind. There's an antique-style pram in the corner, teddy bears placed around the room, and everything feels intentionally soft rather than busy. We then make our way outside to the patio area, and this is where the owner's sense of humour really starts to show. The first things that catch my eye are the chandelier hanging above the table and a large ceramic swan sitting right in the middle. It's an odd combination, but somehow works, like it's not taking itself too seriously. Off to one side is a small private bathroom. Opening the doors reveals thick jungle-like plants surrounding an old-fashioned bathtub. The tub stands on lion's feet with a lion's head forming the water spout, another detail that feels deliberately over the top, but intentional. Out of curiosity, I open the cutlery drawer. Inside, it's all old-fashioned styled silverware. The attention to detail here is really amazing. We've just come back from dinner in town, quietly marking our anniversary, and I'm taking a slow wander around outside. There is a handful of white wicker chairs set outside near the fire pit, ready for use. The place feels calm in the evening light. Off in the background, I can hear the galahs settling in for the night as well. Near the fire pit there's a small sign with the name Betty's on it, though the rest of it is hard to make out in the dark. I wander a bit further, looking toward the paddocks and the surrounding property, and it feels very removed from everything else. From what I was told, the place takes its name from Betty, the woman who lived here previously from the 1980s and helped build the house on the property with her daughter. That history is now part of why the cottage feels the way it does. The style grew naturally over time, with pieces collected, reused, and upcycled, rather than all planned at once. Standing out here, it feels less like a themed stay and more like a stay that's been shaped slowly with a lot of care. It's been a long day of travelling and it's now time to get some rest. But we hope to see more of the town tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed our stay at Betty's Mountain Cottage. Thanks for coming along with us.